On this episode, we're unwrapping the festive fun of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party at Magic Kingdom. We'll share our in-depth review of this magical holiday event, including tips to help make the most of your experience. Today's December 10th, 2024, and this is episode 727 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys! Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, in addition to live streams from the parks and our weekly live show, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. Ready for your next bucket list trip? Our trusted partner, MEI-Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today.
Well, we sure are into the holidays. We only have about 2.5 weeks until Christmas.
Yeah, I was just going to say, does it truly feel like the holidays now? We're out of Thanksgiving, right? I know we start very, very early, and everybody does. We're out of Thanksgiving, and then we went to the Christmas party, right?
Yes.
So now it's like full blown.
Yeah.
We're going shopping later today after we finish recording and all. So it is like full on holidays now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with
and
only
busy
2.5
and
weeks
everything.
left. Mm-hmm. That's the hard part. Everything. And that's the reason that I think we, in so many places and people, start the holidays so early.
Yeah.
Because it goes so dang quick.
It does.
Like by the time it actually gets here. So we are going to cover Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party today.
Yes, we are.
Now, understand that this has been going on for a month so far.
Yep.
We do have some dates left. So we're not only going to talk about the party in relation to folks that are still going because they have tickets for the rest of this season, or if you've always thought about it and you're ready to plan for next year,
yes.
which honestly you probably should be at this point.
Yeah.
You should be thinking about what you're doing for the holidays next year if they involve Walt Disney World, right?
Absolutely.
So we're going to get all into that, and we're going to break everything down for you. Let's start off with kind of, I guess, an overview a little bit of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. When's the last time we went? Like, what can people expect a little bit?
I'm trying to remember because I have the jersey, Spirit jersey. 2019, I believe, was it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, we went with your parents.
Yeah.
I think it was when we were staying at the cabins over there in Fort Wilderness. And we went with your parents, and that was, I believe, in 2019, early December of 2019.
I feel like it was a very long time ago.
That was
but,
forever ago.
Yeah. So you get exclusive holiday entertainment, festive treats, unique character experiences, magical atmosphere, ride overlays, and short wait times, and an actual exclusive party ornaments keepsake this year.
Yes, and all of this can be yours for the low price of $169 to $219 a person. Of course, that is dependent on the dates. The earlier you go, and it kicked off November 8th this year, runs all the way to December 20th. So the earlier you go, the cheaper it is. Of course, the closer you go to actual Christmas, it's going to get up to that $219 range. Now, there are discounts for annual pass holder in DVC in November. So if you get any of the party dates in November, those will be $10 off per ticket. I know it's not a ton, but at least it's something, right?
Hey, you can buy something at the Christmas party.
There you go. I mean, you're talking family of 4. That's a savings of $40.
Yep.
We're going to go through some specialty treats and beverages and all that you might want to try. So that's definitely good savings there.
Yeah.
I've always wished, and I know, like, we try not to compare Disney to Universal because they are so different, but it's
Right.
hard not to.
Yeah.
And, when we were sitting as the premier pass holders for Universal, now they've only got one real specialty after hours event per year, which is Halloween Horror Nights.
Mm-hmm.
And as that premier pass holder, you get one ticket,
Right.
per year to go to one of those. I just wish Disney would do something like that for pass holders, and you could exclude it to Incredipass, because that's the other thing we've always said with, Disney passes and annual passes. The only benefit in getting higher tiers and paying more money is the blockout dates.
Correct.
Right. That's literally it. There's not a single other advantage. Now, of course, some passes you have to buy when you're out of state and all that, but I wish that they would really set the Incredipass apart and give one free ticket per year. And then I don't know what it would say in the fine print if they wanted to strictly say
For November.
valued,
right.
valued at, or they want to say good during any single party, November or October to December, or,
Right.
Heck, August, because that's when they start the Halloween party. Or if it literally wants to list them, this can be used once per
Right.
pass holder year. So whatever your pass holder you hold that for, the Halloween party, the Christmas party, Jollywood Nights, maybe an after hours, something like that. I just wish that they could do. They don't. So as pass holders I feel like the Halloween party, Jollywood Nights, and the Christmas party all overlapping each other within a month to 2 month period, you as a local or somebody who is able to visit often, have to make a decision. Usually, which is which of these three parties over the course of this period do we most likely want to spend the money on?
Yeah.
So, and that's what we hope to help you decide
Yes.
when we do episodes like this. It's one reason that we did all three this year, so we could truly give you that kind of comparison. The parties are sold out this year for the Christmas party.
Yes.
So if you do not already have tickets, you are most likely out of luck. Is there any other possibilities, Rhonda? Is there any maybe tip you would give? And we are not guaranteeing anything, of course.
No. But if you really, really wanted to go and you just missed out and, the day of, I would go to Magic Kingdom and I would ask at that front gate, right there to your right as you're heading in, stand in that line and just ask and, be really nice. And, they might say no, but you know what? They might say yes.
They might say yes.
So,
you still do have last minute cancellations from people, that Disney will work with for folks that can't make it. So there is that possibility.
Yes, there
and
is.
the reason Rhonda is saying, go to Magic Kingdom, go to the front of Magic Kingdom in that guest services. We just feel that's your best chance and opportunity.
yes.
You could certainly ask at your hotel.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess your success rate is close to 0 there. You could go over to TTC and maybe you could ask there. Might increase your success rate. We just think that your best chances of that happening is talking to someone directly at the front of the park right there at guest services. So always worth a try. But again, if you did not get tickets for this year and you're not going to, try to get them day of, you can start to plan for next year and you can start to decide, do we want to do this next year? If you still have a trip left this year and you were like, oh, I totally forgot to plan anything. We'd still like to do something. There still are 4 dates left for Jollywood Nights.
Nice.
These are not sold out yet. So next year, I bet these start to sell out.
Yeah.
Potentially the entire thing. I think everybody was still waiting this year, right?
I
for
think
Jollywood
so.
to see.
Because everybody was saying just how much better it was. And then some people, I think, are still saying, I'm going to give it a few more years.
Yeah.
Which is completely understandable.
Yep.
But it was nice to know this year, unfortunately, because it probably will get sold out. But, if you're in Hollywood Studios and you were like, well, man, I don't want to leave early. I mean, you could have just bought a ticket.
Yeah,
So
definitely. And if you go back to episode 721, we did a full review the same way we're doing this for the Christmas party of Jollywood Nights. So you can decide if it's for you. And that's still available the 11th, the 14th, the 18th, and then the 21st. Couple tips and tricks. Here we are talking a lot about tickets and purchasing tickets, Rhonda. What is the best possible tip or trick?
I'll buy them early for sure because
Yeah.
they do sell out, especially if you have a specific date that you have in mind or want to go. Sometimes we can be flexible because we can come down many times. But if you have that time where you're like, we're going to be there from the 20th to the 1st or something, you know, you got to plan that and then get on that. And I would definitely have a travel agent for that.
Oh, well, 100%. You know, we're hoping you're using MEI-Travel for everything here, your travel to Disney and beyond. But, yeah, you got to get those tickets. Like, as soon as they go on sale and as soon as you know what your date is, just go ahead and get them. And that's one of those where we said this in the past is like, put that at the front of your budget and your kind of to-do list. You know, I mean, you honestly could do that as one of the first possible things you do before you even book rooms and packages or anything like that, just to make sure that you can pay for it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, too. You can start setting aside money now. You know, you're looking at least $800 probably for a family of 4. So, and that is a big hit when you've already looking at planning an entire trip and you've already maybe paid for a package or you're looking to pay for a package.
Right.
Something we also say all the time is, you know, make this your kind of off day. Don't double up and make this a regular park ticket day.
Yeah.
You know, don't spend that money when you're going to do this at night because this is going to give you plenty to do. So you take a rest day, you go and you tour the resorts and check out their holiday decor, different stuff like that.
Take a nap.
Yeah, take a nap if you're on to definitely. I mean, this thing runs 7 to midnight, 7 p.m. to midnight.
And
you can get in at 4 p.m.
Yes. And we didn't get back to our room until I believe it was close to 1 a.m.
Yeah, and we were at the Poly.
Yeah.
So we did not have to travel far whatsoever. So go ahead and make sure that, but yeah, get your room as early as you can too, because rooms are going to sell out. They're going to become very, very hard to find the closer you get, especially once you start to get to December.
Yes.
So you want to book your room very, very early as well. What time would you suggest arriving at the event? Now, of course, if you're an AP, you can get in whenever you want, or if you did spend money on a day ticket for some reason. But let's just say none of those. What time can you get in?
Well, if you have it, like Jeremy suggested, as a rest day, you're allowed as early as 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
It really is.
Because, I mean, then you're talking 4 to midnight.
Yeah.
So then if you're there at 3, you know, you start wherever you're at, start trying to get ready and start, you know, you leave, let's say, around 3-ish. And you're over there and ready to get in, and you're in there at 4 p.m. I mean, you have from 4 to 7 till it actually starts.
Yeah. And there's going to be plenty you can do then. We'll go ahead and outline. And that's where you start to like think of navigating the event ahead of time. You know, it's another reason we do these episodes.
Yes.
You know, you can certainly get a look at the guide maps, the times, the everything before you arrive. If not, as soon as you walk in, grab a guide map. Luckily, they still have printed maps and schedules. And take 5 minutes. Yeah, take 5 minutes to sit with your group and go. If you're not going to go by what we suggest, which honestly, I would just go by what we suggest. But if you have your own plan for reasoning, because our plan does require you to be there until midnight, right? Yes. So if you have younger kids, I would definitely get there at 4. Because you don't know when they're going to crash or tap out.
Right.
And therefore, you may want to adjust some things. But prioritize the things that are most important. Go ahead and sit down and have that idea and that list ready to go.
And usually, I will say usually on a party night event, the daytime is not as busy.
No, it's not.
Because people are like, well, I don't want to have to leave early. So with that being said, when you're in at 4... you know, you can get on rides and do a few things that doesn't cost a lot of wait time. Yeah. So
yeah, and you know, regular day guests or people who don't have party tickets have to be out by 6 p.m. I will say the job that we have watched Disney do over the past 5 years.
Yes.
It has been incredible. You know, they have really cracked down so much. I mean, you know, it used to be you could wander around a party almost most of the night still in the park. You couldn't do anything. But you could
Right.
still kind of wander around. They've almost shut that down. I mean, they really start at the edge of Magic Kingdom all the way around the perimeter and start to work their way in, making areas that you can access more and more limited without that party wristband,
Yeah.
until basically you can't do jack, but maybe stand in front of the train station if you were still there.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to get, kicked out by then. So, I love the job that Disney's done with this, and you really can accomplish a lot. What you're going to see is those folks from 4 to 6. You're going to see this influx of people starting to get in early, but you're also going to see the people starting to leave. Even though they don't have to be out by 6, you will see a lot of people that are starting to leave between that 4 to 6 period because, 1, they just want to get out.
Yep.
Right? 2, if they're anything like me, when you know that you have a 6 p.m. exit time, you're already thinking about it at 4. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
You're really like, well, do I get on this ride? What if we do that? What if we just want to get out of here? Like those 2 hours almost are just like, you know what? Let's just go. So it really is a good time to try and accomplish stuff.
Yes, it is.
Another tip during the night, we personally say for the Halloween party that trick or treat, I think, when it's convenient, right?
Yes.
Because all they're handing you is handfuls of candy that you can go to any store around you and purchase,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
All year long.
True.
We don't really think you should maximize your time wasting it in trick-or-treat lines. However, I would take full advantage of the holiday treats that we'll go through that they are giving out.
Yes.
Because they are unique to the party.
Yep.
They're very, what was the word? Takeable? Would not be the word.
Well, they're all wrapped up.
They're all individually
they're candy, just like the candy you can take. These are cookies.
Yes.
And they are all wrapped individually, so like you can take them and keep them.
I mean, I think now kids are kids, they're going to love everything. But for me, like coming home from the Halloween party with a giant bag of candy and then going, well, I missed this, this, and this because I was getting candy is disappointing.
Oh, 100%.
You come home, though, with a giant bag of these prepackaged delicious cookies. Like, I don't know. It's just different. I feel like it's more worth it. It's more, you get more value out of these included treats than you do the candy at the Halloween party, I think.
I agree.
Another tip we always say, don't waste time sitting down for dinner.
Yeah. There's a lot of other ones that you can get that are, what do you call them? Quick service.
Yes. There's plenty of quick service to take advantage of.
Yeah. So, and don't sit down unless you can sit down at like 3:55 or 4 p.m. I believe.
Yeah, you could get in. Again, if you've got an AP or if you've got something and you can get in before 4 p.m., you certainly could look at doing a dinner. But none of the exclusive stuff is going to be available until 7 p.m. at those sit-down restaurants.
Okay.
So it's zero advantage to you. So I would take advantage, and we have a time in here. It's going to be a late meal, but we have a time to work in where you can go ahead and have a quick service meal and not miss out on anything.
Oh.
So it is definitely something to think about. I just think, even if you got in and said, I got a 4:05 p.m. reservation at Be Our Guest, great. You're not walking out of there until possibly 5:30, 6 p.m.
Right.
You've just lost all that time to take advantage of some things. So just something we don't say. All right. Let's go through our suggested evening itinerary.
Okay.
As we do this, we'll then talk about a bunch of these items. So we'll break down, we'll talk about the parade and the fireworks and all. 4 to 7 p.m. What we just talked about, it's open, right?
Yep.
That's the time to hit rides that might have slightly shorter wait times. Mm-hmm. You will start to see some of the specialty food items that will start to go on sale a little bit early that you can grab. Mm-hmm. This could be a time to get in line for some character meet and greets as they start to form the lines early.
Yes.
A Jack and Sally up front.
Yes.
You might be waiting an hour or so. It's going to dig into a little bit of your time. But like we said with Jollywood, anything that you can accomplish before 7 p.m. feels like free time.
Yes, it does.
And it just means you don't have to do it during the actual party time.
Correct.
So if you can waste an hour prior to 7 p.m. to meet Jack and Sally, and you got Santa Jack, so you don't have to waste an hour between 7 and 12, it's going to be well worth it.
100%.
That's when we took time to shop for merchandise, right?
Yes, we did.
Why don't you talk about the merchandise this year?
Yeah, it was I kind of like how they have been making it a little bit smaller, where
You know, I actually do too.
party exclusive
Yeah.
stuff is not like a whole huge like things.
It was starting to get out of hand.
It kind of was. It was nice to have all the options, but then it was just hard.
Yeah.
So this is nice. They actually had a cute toy soldier pass holder shirt that Jeremy got. The spirit jersey, we both were like, it's red, it's cute. Like, I could let Jeremy get it. I don't like red on me. But unfortunately, we know it's going to come to the character warehouse. So
Yeah, this is a really great point that Ron is bringing up, and we must have said it a dozen times, if not more, over the weekend. Especially when it comes to party exclusive merchandise. They often have way too much, and it's going to end up at one of the character outlets. There's 2 of them in the Orlando area. There's Vineland and Premium at the outlet malls there. And they're most likely going to show up. We stopped at Character Outlet on the way home, and
did.
boom, there is the Halloween party spirit jersey for $30 instead of whatever they're charging now, 80 up to $85. So we spent a lot of time, same thing as we went through Festival of the Holidays. Again, or you go through the Epcot stuff, you think, this is probably going to show up at Character Outlet. Now, for us, that works because we know that we can go to Character Outlet anytime we want. Again, if you're somebody who visits frequently enough, come January, February, if you're down here, I bet you can get this stuff. So that was something it's a reason we held off on some of the items.
Yes, we did.
And now, if it is something you think, like, I got to have this Christmas party spirit jersey, don't wait, because there is no guarantee it's going to show up at the Character Outlet
100%.
or be that price or anything.
100%.
But if you can wait and it's not live or die, I would go ahead and wait.
Yeah. And that's what we did with this one. But they did have a cute, very cute, and I don't know if it was like almost like a pajama shirt, but it was green, and it was party exclusive, like a long sleeve shirt. And I got that because it's green and I like that. But yeah, super cute.
Great
your
tumblers.
pins,
Yeah, what else do we have
tumbler.
there?
They had a really cute lug Christmas.
Yeah.
That was super cute.
That actually was.
Stuff like that, they do sell out of, and usually I've not seen those at the Character Warehouse. So
No.
something like that, definitely
Yes.
get if you want.
Yeah, and lounge flies rarely show up at the Character Outlet. So those things in the lug bags we really have not seen yet since those have become super popular.
Yep.
Did you like did you like the merchandise designs and everything
It was
overall
cute.
this year?
It was super cute.
Yeah.
Yes, I did enjoy it. So yeah.
So prior to 7 p.m., I would do your merchandise shopping in the Emporium.
Yep.
You are going to need your wristband to access it. It is a very small area. This is one that they have to figure out. This is awful area to have merchandise that is exclusive to partygoers only prior to 7 p.m. Because then after 7 p.m. throughout the night, as they've kicked people out, you can get much more accessible party gear throughout.
That's
But
true.
if you want it prior, you got to go to this space, and it is tight. Now they've mirrored, so they have 2 sides.
And they're on the same on both sides.
Yes, they're exact
You go
same
in
stuff on
one
both
way.
sides. Yes.
But what you can do, and here's a great tip and trick, is to get what you want, walk out, go to a side where it's quiet or whatever, and you can mobile purchase, which I found out this weekend. I would highly, highly suggest every single time, because it keeps track. And as we found out, Jeremy had the most magical place on earth shirt that he wanted to exchange for a larger size. And they didn't have it for over a month. And it was so easy to go in when we found the shirt that he wanted. You went into My Disney Experience. You
we
pulled
didn't have
it
the
up.
receipt with us.
Nope. It was
Stupidly, just didn't have it.
It was but it was fantastic because they're all in your orders. So
yeah,
it was great, simple, easy.
Yep.
Even exchange, great.
Yeah, it really was. We had to end up having to do it in Animal Kingdom, but we were able to bring up that past order. Now, I knew the exact date that we had purchased it, but even then, you just scroll through, you find it, and then they scan that QR code, they scan the new item, and boom, it was as easy as could be.
Yeah.
And again, it's a great budgeting tool as well to have all those, because you're not always going to get a receipt, right? Or you don't want to carry them around all the time. Boom,
Or
you have everything
if
right
you
there.
forget or
Yeah.
you or it gets wet,
Yep.
or I mean, there's so many possibilities with it.
And I will say, from somebody who has way too often folded up receipts and stuck them somewhere thinking this will be great to file away later for a write-off, if you don't do that very quickly, those receipts obviously will rub themselves clean. Then all you got is just a sheet of plain paper. And you have no idea what it was for.
That's
So
right.
IRS isn't going to take, here's a piece of paper. I swear to God, it said I had spent like $7,000 in this thing, okay? Just
Right.
trust me.
Right.
It's a write-off. All right, so party is officially going to start at 7 p.m.
Oh yeah, and back to the, if you do buy a bunch of merchandise, another little tip too is to go up front and rent a locker. It's pretty dang cheap, so you don't have to carry it around all night. So.
Great. We did that for, was it Tiana's opening? We did it for
Yes.
something where we bought so
Yes, we
much.
did.
Because again,
It
you
was
want to get
Tiana's.
it done with,
Yep.
but you don't want to carry that junk around all
Right.
night. So definitely something. At 7 p.m. when the party starts, for us in our itinerary, you're going to kind of have 7 p.m. to about 9:30 open. This is like free time. This is the time to meet the characters that you want to meet.
Yep.
This is the time to enjoy those specialty food and beverages, the extra paid ones. And we'll talk about the stuff that we picked up. This is a time to check out some different ride overlays. So there are a few ride overlays. You've got Space Mountain Holiday Run.
Oh, we missed out.
We did
on
miss
one.
that because I think I was the only
You
one
wanted
that really wanted
but
to
we
ride
went
it.
and looked, and
And it was a long wait
It
at the
was
time. It just wasn't worth our time.
Correct.
It is very cool though because they have red and green like lights and lasers going throughout. They're playing like Run Rudolph Run, I think, or they're playing like rocking around the Christmas tree style rock Christmas music, right? Very, very cool. Mad Tea Party is a whole bunch of lights that
Still
are
spinny,
cool,
though, and
but it spins, and it's a lot. This is one we've said in the past. You can kind of observe it from the outside and see that it's cool. If you have any sort of sensitivity issues, do not ride this thing.
Yeah.
And in fact, even looking at it could potentially be rough. I mean, when you talk about, you look at the beginning of movies and shows now that they have to warn, you know, that there's flashing lights and sequences.
Yeah.
This sucker is, it's crazy. Tomorrowland Speedway Race Through the Holidays is basically just the worst ride at Disney with some Christmas lights. So you can decide if you want to do that or not. Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor is going to interject some holiday humor, jokes, things like that. And then you've got, of course, what I think out of all of these is an absolute must-do, and that's Jingle Cruise.
Yes, but that is also during the day.
It is.
So
this
for
could be a 4 to 7 or any other time that you're there.
For example, we are coming back with our little itty bitty Lacey, which is not
so
itty
excited,
bitty.
I know.
Doctor,
It's going to be my favorite. I think it's going to be one of
excited.
my favorite trip reviews coming up to do this because I was saying around it yesterday on the way home because I had to get up Friday morning early.
Yeah.
I had to book Lightning Lane multi-pass, single pass, and we'll talk about that and stuff. Not to go off on too much of a tangent, but what'd you expect? You're listening to me. But we're really going to we're kind of going to do Disney the way that normal people do Disney.
Right.
Right? It's going to be really
Tourist.
cool. I'm excited for that. So,
Yes.
But yes, back to Jingle Cruise is available all day.
And we were looking at that. If it was going to be too long of a ride, we knew that we were going to be back with Lacey this coming weekend. And with that being said, we knew we could ride it, but it was a short ride.
Yeah.
And so we did ride it, which was super
and we'll
cool.
talk about when we rode it because this could be another good tip later. All right. So that's the type of stuff you're going to look at accomplishing during that time. We rode Haunted Mansion. We rode Big Thunder Mountain during that time. We rode Pirates slightly after. No, we did ride Pirates after they'd officially opened at 7. So we did all of this stuff pretty much around the party starting at 7.
This was a sold out party. And I'm not going to lie, I think I was very surprised at how pretty low some wait times were. We walked on to Pirates. Pirates, when you've got a full row, can be a wet ride.
Yeah, of
And
course.
I got wet.
Yes, I mean, those splashes will get you when you're all
But
the
thank
way
God
against
I
the edge. Yeah.
had a full onesie on and
Yeah.
it was cold. So it didn't wet me all the way to my skin. But
And this is the time, the 7 to kind of 9:30. Tiana's is standby and Tron is standby. If those are ones that you are not going to accomplish during the daytime, during the rest of your vacation, this could be the time to do those between this 7 and 9 time. What we actually did between then, so we before 7, we kind of figured out our plan.
Mm-hmm.
We did the merchandise shopping. We started to look at what treats were available. So we kind of did that. Right around 7 is when we got in line for. Right before 7, actually, they opened it back up, Haunted Mansion, because between 6 and 7, at 6, everything's going to shut down as far as rides go until they can basically clear. Yeah, they cut off the line so they can clear all of the guests from the line, which makes them know we have now cleared all day guests.
Correct.
Once that is basically clear, they're going to open the queue back up.
Yep.
So we were able to get into Haunted Mansion not long before the 7 p.m. start time. By the time we were getting off of Haunted, it was about 7:05.
Yes,
right?
And then they're right across at Columbia Harbor House was a treat. So
we went and hit the treat in the drink.
Did.
From there, we stopped and got the popcorn bucket.
Yeah, so there was, which I think everybody has seen, the Mickey cute little elf popcorn bucket that was there.
He's so cute.
He is, but actually debuting on our party night was the gingerbread house popcorn bucket that is super cute.
Yeah, it is. It was out in Disneyland, so people have probably seen it.
Yes. Very large.
It is, right?
But like Jeremy said it pretty much while we were there. I feel like this one in Sully this Christmas is a worth getting, and actually if you get the popcorn, getting it refilled and carrying it around because it is a lot of popcorn.
It is. Yeah, it's actually a really good value for refilling.
Mm-hmm.
And this gingerbread house one, because it's technically like square and it's got the arm strap, it's actually one of the least annoying ones to carry around. You know, I think so. Because all the other ones are so oddly shaped and they're much larger. Like this is big, but it's not in that odd shape. Like a full Sully holding a Santa's bag with Mike Wazowski in it, or I could see in our closet the Stitch one from Halloween with the ears sticking out, and like they're just. And this one's actually the easiest to eat out of because one of the roof sides opens and it's just easy access to popcorn.
And it says Happy Holidays.
Yeah, inside
it's
of it.
Cute.
It's really great. So those actually dropped the night of the party.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might have hit stands a little earlier and day guests got them because we saw a lot of folks with them prior to 7 p.m. Some of them even walking out of the front gate. So I think probably like there wasn't a good communication somewhere.
Because we did ask, and they did say they were party exclusive only.
Right. But we saw plenty of people that I do not believe, well, I know didn't get them because it wasn't 7 p.m. yet, and it was even long before 6 p.m., like when they started selling the Stitch popcorn bucket. So if you were one of those folks, maybe congratulations. But if it's anything like Stitch, these will end up for sale in the parks during the day. Whether it's after all the parties are over or before that. You know, Disney's actually at least gotten good about, you know, getting plenty of these and putting them at locations all over the park. You know, so if you want one of these, the lines are going to be longer at the front of the park and around the hub. You can go off your way a little bit. This was over in Liberty Square.
Yes.
So then from there, we stopped by Golden Oak Outpost. And we'll go through, we're not going to talk about what we got now, like the treats now. We'll talk about them in a little bit.
Okay.
We stopped at Golden Oak Outpost and Pecos Bill to get some specialty treats.
Yep.
From there was a quick walkthrough at the Pirates League there for DVC. They're handing out little lighted up necklaces, which was cool. And they gave us some.
Yeah, because we were friends
Amy
with
and Chuck. Yep.
Amanda Frazier.
Yes. From there, we hit another cookie and drink station there at Tortuga Tavern before going into Pirates of the Caribbean. And so, like, this is all before, like, 8 o'clock, I think, at this point, or right around 8-ish,
Possibly,
you know?
yeah.
And we've already accomplished all this type of stuff. And we just decided we'd start working our way around. Now, the one thing we missed, but you could catch around this time, is at 8:15, once a night, they do the Frozen Holiday Surprise. However, what time was it? It was before 7 o'clock.
We were standing in that line for a picture.
And they did a stage show. They did a Frozen stage show.
Yeah, that was
so they
really
actually
cute.
did it prior to 7.
Yeah.
But the main time for it is at 8:15. So this would be a good time to be around the hub before you maybe head off for a little more time of whatever you want to do. You can catch this real quick. So you got all this time up until 9:15-ish, 9:30. Then what do we recommend that you do?
Well, like Jeremy said, so we were making our way all the way back around. And then we found a spot to sit down for around 9:25 for all the rest of the things that were.
All the entertainment.
Parade, all the entertainment. There you go.
Where now? It's not a trash can. Where is our absolute go-to spot? We did the same thing for the Halloween party.
We did. And I'm glad that they have the tape and they kind of don't pick it up and put it back down, pick it up and put it back down like they do in parades and stuff.
Yeah, during the daytime.
But there is a little taped. So if you're staring at the castle, it is off to your left. And it is right where, and there's going to be a little L like shaped taped off. And it is basically going to come down next to Sleepy Hollow, right? That bridge.
Yeah, coming out of Liberty Square next to Sleepy Hollow, over the bridge into the hub is where the parade route is going. And this will work for the daytime. This will work for the 3 p.m. Festival Fantasy Parade, too, as far as parade locations go.
Yeah. And it was super awesome because we just sat right there and then stayed right there by that tape through all of our entertainment.
Yeah.
And then when the parade came, it's just so nice because you can just sit. And even people can see behind you.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally that corner. Like if you were walking, which the parade route coming from Liberty Square, like we said, with Sleepy Hollow on your left, across the bridge, and then you cut left to go around the hub, it's that corner before you cut left. And like Rhonda said, you get on the front of that tape line, you can sit down during the parade, during everything. Fireworks in the stage show, you're probably going to have to stand up. We did.
We had to because of the people filling in. And
everybody starts to fill in. And at this point, it's pretty open.
It is. It's very open until the parade.
Yeah.
And then they will, cut everything off, open everything up. Let me say it like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just the perfect spot because you're watching head on the float come at you, and then you're seeing it from its right side as it turns on to its left and goes around. And where we were... I got a couple photos. I'm not a photographer, don't know what I'm doing, so they're just iPhone pics. But where we were sitting on the ground, for one, Cinderella stopped in the carriage for just a little bit because they had to, I guess, catch up or something, or wait, I should say. And I got this photo looking up, and you can see like the front half of Cinderella's carriage and the horses, and then the castle is right there as well, and it's just gorgeous. And then the same thing for Santa. You can literally look at a side profile of Santa as he's waving to the crowd, and the castle is in the background. He's in the it's such a beautiful, perfect location.
Yes, it is.
Now, if you get there at 9:25 or earlier, there is going to be Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration stage show. Because there is one at 9:25.
Yes.
So that is a good time to catch it if you would like, or if you're just kind of working your way into the spot, don't worry because you're going to get another shot at it.
Yes.
But you're going to chill here for a little bit.
Yeah.
Until what?
Until 10 o'clock. So it was really cool because we were around, like I said, around 9:20, 9:25, and the stage show comes on. So we see it's in entirety.
Yeah.
And then it's nice because not long after it's done, they start announcing for the fireworks going to happen. So that was amazing. Because
boom, you're already there and you've got a great spot.
Yep. And
as we said, you're staring at the castle.
Yes.
It's perfect.
And didn't feel very long of a wait because of that. So then you watch the fireworks, which was amazing.
10 p.m.
So fun.
Yep.
And then there is another stage show in between at 10:35. So again, all this, you only feel like you're waiting because then after the stage show is done, then your parade starts at 11 p.m. Now, you're only waiting like between this stuff 10-15 minutes. But when the parade starts at 11, remember, it starts way down. Yeah. So by the time it gets to us, I think it is like close to 11:15 or 11:30.
Somewhere around there.
So,
but there you've sat at 9:25. You have caught the fireworks, you've caught the stage show, and you've caught the parade.
Yep.
And as Rhonda said, there's not a lot of wait time and downtime in between, even though it seems like, you're sitting in the same spot for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And again, it's just like the most perfect view for all three of these activities, I feel like, right?
Yes. And seeing both stage shows actually worked really well on our behalf this year because we saw the first stage show in its entirety. I was excited for the second one because then it doesn't make you feel like you wait long at all.
Yeah.
But the second one actually had some technical difficulty and stopped halfway through and then finished a very end song. So I'm glad we got to see that first one.
Yeah, and from what I heard, some of the other parties, they were having some of these difficulties with the stage show as well. So this might be a good time to say, you know what? We are going to be in our spot at 9:20. We're going to catch the 9:25 stage show. If it goes off without a hitch, cool, we caught it.
Right.
Then what you could do, because what will happen is you got your 10 p.m. fireworks, right? When that's done, 10:15, 10:20, that area is going to clear out. Not everybody's waiting around for the stage show. A lot of people are clearing out.
Right.
So you want to hold your spot, but this is a good time to do your mobile order. This is your dinner at a quick service. A quick run over to Casey's Corner is probably the best one. Or you can head over to a Sleepy Hollow. You're going a little bit farther, Pecos Bill. You can shoot over to Cosmic Rays in Tomorrowland. Like, there's some spots where you can send one person off and say, all right, we're going to mobile order, go pick it up, bring it back. While we're sitting here, we're going to eat.
Yeah.
Now, you've already accomplished the first stage show. So the 10:35, you can either choose to watch it again, or that's when you're just chilling and you're eating.
Yeah.
Right? Or if there was an issue with the first stage show, now you're catching the full one. Or if the first one went off without a hitch and you get lucky like us and the second one doesn't, then you get to see a little extra bonus stuff, right? So I just thought like that is the perfect plan because, you know, we always say you don't have a to-do list. Don't determine your trip by what you do and don't do and all that good stuff. But these are the three things you really want to see and experience to get the most out of the money that you've spent on this thing. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
So there's a perfect plan for that. You are done. 11 p.m. Is that parade. Comes around 11:15, 11:30-ish now. You've accomplished most everything you need to for the evening.
Yeah.
So now you got 30 minutes before it closes to kind of, I don't know, sweep up the remaining stuff, right? So this is the time to hit some final treats that you didn't get. Note the guide. Some treats, they do stop selling at 11 p.m.
Yes, they do.
So just note if that's one of the things you're looking for, you got to get it earlier. This is the time to maybe hit a couple of those meet and greets you didn't get. Maybe you never got around to merchandise. Maybe there's some rides like Jingle Cruise that we decided to go do and get in line about 9:45 of midnight.
Yes,
because they will allow you in lines, in queues up until midnight. And then they have to allow you on. You know, we're not saying this so that you get in line at 11:59 and you keep cast members there late, all that stuff. They already have that worked in.
Yeah.
Because you see that a lot. People are like, well, you know, boy, that's really rude to the cast members. You're going to get in line at 11:58. Now they've got to stay. That's already worked in.
Yeah.
So
they know it.
Yeah, they know it. They know that's going to happen.
Because people are going to do it.
Right. So we got in line last minute for Jingle Cruise. Another thing would be Jack and Sally.
Yep.
This is the time to catch Santa, Jack, and Sally is very last minute. Go ahead and get in that queue. Because even if you get in that line right after the parade, you walk down there, it's 11:40 and it says an hour-long wait. 20 minutes into your wait, everything's done anyway.
Yeah.
So you're not technically missing out on anything. You're just staying up later and you're getting to see Santa, Jack, and Sally. So there are a few additional things that are going on throughout the night from 7 to 12. There is Club Tinsel Dance Party over in Tomorrowland on the stage. There is the Disney Junior Jingle Jam Dance Party happening inside of Cosmic Rays.
We
where
saw
Sunny Eclipse
that.
is. Yeah.
Super cute.
And then there is Santa's Christmas Carnival over in Storybook Circus in the giant tent area where you can actually meet Santa. And they've got some extra stuff going on that is new this year.
We did not
make it over there. But these are 7 to 12 basically ongoing events that you can kind of pass by. You know, again, do you want to spend 30 minutes at a dance party when there's other things to be done? You probably don't, but your kid might.
Yeah.
So you do have to think about those things. And as bad as it sounds, this can also tell you areas to avoid if you don't want to do these things and have young children.
Yeah.
Don't go into Cosmic Rays.
Yeah.
They're going to see it.
Oh, yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Go a little bit left long way if you're heading towards Tron or Space Mountain so they don't see the stage to the right. Just don't even go in a Storybook, right? If you want to save your time, your little kids are going to want to dance and stuff, so you don't have to.
That's fine.
You want to talk about the food that we ate?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start off. We're not going to necessarily go completely in order of how we ate them, but it's kind of close.
Okay.
Let's start off first with the first thing we did have for the night.
Yes, and that is your festive beignets at Golden Oak Outpost for $7.29. This was a light and fluffy beignet dusted with blue sugar cookie dust and served with cookie butter icing.
Your thoughts, Miss Rhonda?
Well, let's also talk about, we got the fried ice cream Christmas tree for $8.79. This is peppermint ice cream rolled in cereal topped with green cookie butter, whipped cream, and festive sprinkles.
Yeah. There is a savory item here that is chicken tenders with like mashed potatoes and all. We didn't get it, but I will say it looked very hearty and filling. So this could take over your dinner option.
Yeah.
And these it's walkable.
Yeah.
For a sense, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But if you're thinking about a dinner, this actually could fill in, and it's going to be one of the quickest things you can do.
Yes.
No, but let's talk about the items, and we'll start with the negative.
Yeah.
It's only negative I think we have of the entire evening.
Possibly,
honestly.
yeah.
It was the most perfect night.
Yeah, it was
ever.
wonderful.
It really
was. So, and we were with Chuck and Amy.
Uh-huh.
So, she is gluten sensitive, so she cannot eat either one of these. But I should have said something because the only thing I think is the cereal. But the peppermint ice cream rolled into cereal is fried.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very warm and it was great. It was because the butter whipped cream topping started to melt. That's how warm it was. So the peppermint ice cream was really good. The cookie butter whipped cream topping was really good. Where it failed was the cereal it was rolled in. It just tasted stale.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
I took quite a few bites and tried thinking there's one bite that's probably going to work. Nope.
Yeah.
But you got to roll it in something to fry ice cream, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they should have done. If they should have just maybe put some peppermint ice cream on because like I said, the ice cream and the whipped cream together was great.
Yeah, they were. It just failed on the crust.
Yeah.
Like first of all, they weren't frying it to order, which makes I don't think. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was because I think that was the problem. But how could they not? Because you have cold ice cream and a hot outside, unless there's some way they quickly warm the outside, and these are like
unless they
ready to go. They might flash fry it because what it tasted that they were stale. They weren't crispy. They were almost soggy stale, I guess. And I don't even know if they were the best like cornflakes you can buy. Like I think they were like knockoff brand. Like these were like you go to Aldi and buy like corn leaves, right? Like and they're not even in a bag. They're like in one of those giant bins and you just weigh it yourself, right? It's like BYO bag for cereal. There's this new place down the street and it's BYO BC. Bring your own bag for cereal. And it's just bins everywhere filled with open knockoff cereal and you just scoop it in and I think that's where Disney went.
Okay.
So that part failed. But seriously,
peppermint ice cream was really good.
And there's lots of other areas that have a peppermint ice cream, which was delicious.
Yes.
And honestly, we ended up almost finishing the ice cream portion. We just kind of, dug it out from the outside. And that was it. That was the only fail there.
Yep.
Now,
let's talk
I didn't
about
care at all
beignets.
because they had these festive beignets.
Yeah.
First, I'll let you talk about what you thought about them. I just love that this is happening. You know, because Port Orleans was the only place to get beignets on property. And they still do. They do the coolest stuff with them, but it's not always convenient. Everyone who comes on a Disney vacation will visit Magic Kingdom. You know, during the regular season, you got Tiana's famous beignets. They got the powdered sugar. They got honey. We got specialty beignets during the Halloween party. Now we have them during the Christmas party. I hope that we see specialty beignets available for the daytime as well, just now throughout the year. Keep these up. Now, what did you think of this specific take, I should say?
This was amazing. I absolutely loved it. The blue sugar cookie dust was great. The cookie butter icing was fantastic.
Yeah. Just
all together. There's 3 beignets, and of course Chuck could eat one, so we each had one. They are so good. So good.
This is the best one yet, I think. It's my favorite flavoring. It's my favorite take.
I'll agree.
It's the first one where I wanted to like get the rest of the icing out, the dipping cup, I should say, with my finger. I wanted to eat all of it. Like in the past, they were fine, but I thought the beignets stood on their own.
Oh, yeah.
These do stand on their own, but they are just taken to a level like no other with this cookie butter frosting stuff.
Yeah.
And the outside, what they're calling blue sugar dust, to me, just reminded me of my childhood and Fun Dip.
Yeah.
You remember,
Yep.
I think they still sell them. I mean, it's a sugar stick that you dip in flavored sugar.
Yeah.
So I didn't get them a lot as a kid. My parents liked no sugar cereals, no sugar gum, but our fridge was always filled with soda. So it really didn't make any sense, right? But they were usually diet, so I guess that's less sugar, right?
It's
They didn't have zero
sugar.
They didn't back then, though.
Oh,
Diet isn't zero sugar. Zero sugar is zero
different-
sugar, right? It's a different kind they use. Anyway,
Aspartame,
zero sugar wasn't right.
whatever.
So our fridge was always loaded with that. And do you remember Hugs?
the
Drink.
Hershey. Oh no! What
You don't
is
remember
that?
Hugs? Little
No.
Hugs?
No.
They are. You get them in a case of like 36. We probably got them from Price Club, and they're shaped like little barrels, little plastic clear barrels, and they have a aluminum foil top.
Yeah, that
And
was
inside is
not
like a
called Hugs
fruit
for
juice.
us.
Oh, we called them Hugs. Yeah, I think that was the
I
name
don't
brand for
remember.
us, though. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And
The top never peeled off right. So what I did, and would explain a lot, is I would just dig my teeth in there. Because you have your canines, you know, your little pointies. So you dig the little pointy in there, and then you just turn the Hug around, and you cut open the top of the aluminum
wow,
foil
that's-
with your teeth.
that's
Again, not recommended. But that's how you'd eat them. And you could take one of those suckers down in a second. After a hot day, you're out playing with your friends. We'd walk into our garage, and the garage fridge, you open that up, it's just filled with sodas and little Hugs, and have those. And then afterwards, you slice open, you get the Joker look with the pops, the ice pops, right? And they got razor blades, I'm pretty sure, on the side of them, because they would tear the sides of your mouth up. So little Hug and an ice pop, like that's summer as a kid in the 80s.
you're funny.
Do you not miss that? Okay, so I think we liked them.
We did very much. Like I said, except I would save the $8.79 from the fried ice cream for
do not get that
something
for
else.
a Sunday or something somewhere else.
Yep.
At the same time, Amy hopped into Pecos Bill to get us two of their items. What did we get there?
And these are both available only until 11 p.m. So if you want them, get them earlier. It's a chocolate tart topped with eggnog mousse and chocolate antlers for $6.49, and then the salted caramel horchata for $5.49. And she really couldn't have the salted caramel horchata, but she did taste it. It
She
does
didn't
have.
care.
She didn't.
Yeah.
Well, she knows her limitations,
Yes.
and she can taste. Which she did taste that, and it was fantastic.
That was really
It
good.
was really good.
Yeah.
Me, you, and Chuck drank it. And then the chocolate eggnog tart, I really liked.
I did
It was
too.
super funny because I don't think I knew what I was eating besides a chocolate tart. And then when you said the eggnog, I took another bite and I was like, oh my God, there it is.
Weird how that
was super
works.
weird.
Like just the science
Yeah.
behind your brain. Because we had the whole conversation there. Like I knew it was eggnog. So I immediately got eggnog flavors, but they were not overpowering
No,
or
they
strong. You had no clue, and you're eating it and you're enjoying it. And as soon as you heard the word eggnog,
Yep.
you tasted the
Yep.
eggnog flavors. Isn't that weird?
So weird.
That's crazy.
Yep.
You should like study brains.
No, I shouldn't.
But I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yep.
Again, I enjoyed that it was light on the eggnog flavor. The tart was great. We all know now I love tarts. I'm a fancy boy. So let's move on. This was our treat because we never ate a dinner. We never ended up at a quick service. I wanted to try the lasagna flatbread over at Pinocchio House. We just didn't get around to it. And honestly, that's okay because I do like focusing on the sweet treats here.
Yeah.
You know, this and the Halloween party, I like it. I wish just in general, when they do all the specialty foodie guide stuff, that they had more savory things. I think they rely so heavy on sweets just throughout the year, even if it's July 4th. But here I'm like, let's focus on the sweets. So this was going to be kind of our meal, our dinner. This was our waiting for the parade, the show, the fireworks, and all of that. This is at a couple different places throughout. We got it from the Main Street snack popcorn cart right there to the left as you're looking at Cinderella Castle. And what are the 3 items that we got?
So they have a festive pretzel for $12.50. This is a jumbo pretzel with chocolate hazelnut drizzle, caramel sauce, Twix cookie bar pieces, and festive sprinkles. This is new this year, and of course, this is party exclusive. But we also got the red velvet Christmas wreath donut for $6. This is a red velvet donut topped with buttercream and holiday sprinkles. And then there's a gingerbread cola for $5. It's a Coca-Cola served with gingerbread syrup. It is non-alcoholic and, of course, new. We got all 3.
Let's start with the
gingerbread cola because I got one. We were going to share it. And thank God Amy really quickly mentioned diet. And I was like, oh, yeah.
The great point to bring up.
Yeah. So when I really quickly, I said, oh, can I have that gingerbread cola diet? And she was like, absolutely.
Because they're just mixing it right out of the fountain.
Absolutely.
It's not as though this is a pre-made non-diet gingerbread cola.
Right.
They can mix it with the syrup themselves.
So yeah, and so at this point it was great because I asked for water, put it in my Starbucks Christmas cup I was carrying. And then Amy and I shared this, and again, it does have caffeine, so Jeremy knows his limitations and he can sip it. I loved it. Yeah. I absolutely loved it.
It is really, so I made gingerbread syrup here at home, simple syrup, and I have mixed it with Coke or Pepsi or whatever, and it's delicious. I like, well, I don't know which one I like better. So this tasted like rum and Coke.
It kind of did. It was really good.
Like, it tasted like rum and Coke if you know what rum and Coke tastes like. Let's just say that, right? And I can't, I don't know why. It just did. It just had that feeling. And I used to drink a lot of rum and Coke back in the day, so I know what it tastes like, trust me. But I love this as is. Again, the gingerbread syrup, simple syrup at home, it does take a lot of ingredients because you can't just buy really just gingerbread flavor. So I had to literally buy fresh ginger and use all these spice stuff. But it is so good. And yeah, you put it in a Coke, a little splash of that, and it is just like the holidays. It's amazing. How about the red velvet Christmas wreath donut? What did you think of that one?
I thought it was fine. It was a really good moist donut with some buttercream holiday sprinkles, and eating that together was fine. I would get it again. Like, it was moist. It was great if you want that type of thing, but it wasn't like, oh my God, this is the best donut I've ever eaten. I mean, it was just a good donut. Yeah.
There's better sweet treats, I'll say.
Okay. I'll agree with that.
This is one that I would like to see available all day, especially in the mornings.
I'll agree with that too. With
your candy cane latte that they have across property at Joffrey's right now, or, walking in, like if the Starbucks, if those locations or the Joffrey's had these, to me, I just rather would have this in the morning. While it is very sweet and it's red velvet and it's icing and all, to me, it still tasted like a breakfast donut. And I was very, very good.
Yes.
But yeah, the time and all just didn't work for me. And I think that there's better treats is all.
Yeah.
But this is your only opportunity. So if you're a huge donut fan and a red velvet fan, then I would definitely get it because it does hit the mark on both of those.
Yes.
So, and all the icing, even though the donut is only slightly dry, it's actually a pretty good moist donut.
Yeah,
it's slightly dry, but the icing on top takes care of any dryness it could have, and it's absolutely perfect.
Well, it's dry on top because it's like glazed slightly.
Yes,
so
it is.
I wouldn't say dry. It's just
but it's good. I do like it.
Yeah.
Now, what I will recommend you get, and what I'm gonna deem the best evening treat that we had.
I'll agree with
Okay, is this festive pretzel?
Yes.
Right. It is a Bavarian giant, huge pretzel.
Yes,
it is the same ones you're getting over in Germany.
Yes,
you're getting
it
it like
is.
Baseline Tap House, right? Salty, everything.
Yep.
Just like that. It's then drizzled with chocolate hazelnut, caramel, There's some sprinkles. We didn't get mini festive sprinkles, and then crushed
Sometimes
Twix.
I don't think it sticks.
I don't think. No, a lot of stuff didn't stick to the top the way it should have. So this is definitely one. The photo looks nothing like the real thing, but all the flavors are there. I thought it was going to be too much. So there's a place near us, Gators Dockside, and I'm sure it's happening. Like, I think this is kind of a new thing, is these sweet and savory jumbo pretzels, because the Gators Dockside near us has one.
Okay.
Like, it's pretty similar to this. Might be Snickers instead of Twix or something.
Okay.
And I don't know. For some reason, I thought, I don't know if this is going to work. This seems like one of those where you're just trying too hard and it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe if you had a standard pretzel in a chocolate dipping sauce and that's it, that would work. This is going to be too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. This is one of my favorite things now.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I want to go to Gators. I want to get theirs. I want this to become a thing now.
Okay.
Sweet specialty pretzels.
Yeah, there you
It kind
go.
of is, because they're doing them over at Coronado at El Mercado.
Yeah,
Rachel
we
was
need
getting
to-
them and sending us photos, so we need to get over there.
Yep.
Huge pretzels. They're serving them in pizza boxes.
And savory and
Savory
sweet, right?
and sweet.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and she tried a bunch of them and was
Mm-hmm.
sending us photos, and yeah, they're giant. So this might be a testing ground. What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it.
Oh my God, I loved it.
Yes, I did. Usually I'm not that type of person like Jeremy is. If we have pretzels in the house, after every time he eats something sweet, he'll be like, I need something salty. So he'll grab some pretzels and eat on those real quick. After a sweet, sometimes I just want some ice water.
Yeah.
Really cold ice water. But
But
I thought
here's-
it was really good, and I'm really happy you got it. And
Yeah.
I will happily help you eat any other ones.
And you will need help. This is
it's
a lot.
huge.
I mean, if you go, all right, I know the size of the Bavarian pretzels. Well, yes, you do. But when you add all this stuff on top, it's a whole nother animal, right? And when Rhonda's like, when I eat something sweet, like I like salty and sweet, but normally I don't like them at the same time together.
Yeah.
Like Rhonda said, I like to eat something sweet, then follow it with something salty, or vice versa. I don't usually like chocolate covered pretzels, but this thing just worked. And I
Yeah.
loved every possible thing about it. All right. We've got one more to go over at Anti-Gravity's Galactic Goodies. This is available also at Cheshire Cafe, but only until 6 p.m. This is the whoopie pie for $6.49. It is chocolate cake sandwich with marshmallow mint buttercream. It is new. It is plant-based. What did you think of this? It's two Mickey-shaped chocolate brownies, really, because they're dense. I wouldn't call it cake. It's very dense, but it is plant-based.
Dense. Yes.
And we know how dense those items can be.
Which
And then
makes
it's
us
got-
also gluten-free.
Yes, it does.
For Amy,
Right.
so she was able to eat it.
Yeah, and then it's sandwiched with that marshmallow mint buttercream, and it's got a little chocolate Mickey on top. Do you think that it's got to be the same recipe and mixture they're using on that plant-based cupcake that we did not like?
Correct.
But
Well, I don't know, because this was good.
this was great.
This was fantastic.
But the texture was the same. I just think the way it was presented and what it was accompanied with made it good, where the one just wasn't when we did the cupcake.
and
maybe
maybe
I don't know.
because it was all tightly squished together,
Maybe.
because it was supposed
It's very
to be
dense. That's why I call it more brownie-like. It's much
Yeah.
more fudge brownie-like than it is cake pie.
Yeah, which we liked
right?
that better.
Yeah.
Like unfortunately, if it was supposed to be the cake and it was going to be like that cake that we had, I probably wouldn't have liked it,
Yeah.
but we all liked it.
Also, this is one of those where you have to go for form over function and have it look beautiful. But nobody in testing this recipe took the side of a fork to try and cut this and then eat it, because they would have realized the cake brownie is dense enough that it ain't going to cut with the side of a fork, and all it's going to do is squish all of the icing out of the middle of these two cakes. So honestly, it's one of those, either just get messy, pick it up and go at it, or get yourself a fork and knife and kind of cut through to make sure you get all the flavors. Because if you tried to just press down on it, it just shot all the cream out the back, and that wasn't good. So, all right. Let's talk, before we get into some comparisons with what we think, how this compares over to the Halloween party. Your complimentary cookies and beverages are throughout. And again, they're prepackaged. We highly recommend you stop by these. As we said with the trick-or-treat stations, you may look at Columbia Harbor House and you may see a line stretching all the way down to the market there.
Right.
Have no fear. That sucker's moving quick.
Yes. And then, and this one, it was super nice because they were like, if you want cocoa and the cookie, stay to the left. If you want just cookie, go to your right.
That was nice.
That was very nice because I did not want it at the time. And
the hot chocolate. It's Joffrey's hot chocolate.
It is.
Highly recommend you get some of these.
The reason I was going to point that out is because it's also gluten-free.
Yes.
So again, that's safe for Amy. So she was able to have some.
And they have gluten-free prepackaged treats at every single location. Do you remember all of them?
5, no, but I do remember her saying 5 different options.
Yes.
On different granolas, cookies. Like,
that's awesome.
It was. And she got every single one. I tried the chocolate granola. I think it was a chocolate gingerbread granola.
That was very good.
Really good.
Mm-hmm.
When and then we don't think we had any cookies. I'm trying to remember now. But that was super nice. And she liked it too because she's in the same line as me and her. And she gets her different thing as I get my cookie, and she doesn't get a chip or a coin to go to this one specific place to trade it in. Yeah. So that was super nice.
Yeah, like the Halloween party. Mm-hmm. No, I do think the options and all they're coming with are just great. And as far as I know, none of the treats contain shrimp powder, so Steve could have enjoyed it with us. But what are the locations and what are at them? And then let's talk about each of the cookies and stuff. Let's talk about these.
So we
tried every one, I think.
We missed one, and I'm really sad. So we did get the Columbia Harbor House at Liberty Square. This is a caramel pretzel chocolate chip cookie.
It's really
this
good.
Was really good. This one we tried at the time, and this is where I deemed, all right, this is really good. I'm going to ask for 2.
Yeah, and you can.
And you can.
Yeah, Ronnie got 2 at every station from there out. And again, because they're prepackaged, like, they're going to stay fresh because we ate them right then and there. Right. Obviously, they weren't fresh right then and there, but they're soft. They're kind of gooey. Like, these would be really good if you're at a DVC or a place with a microwave. You pop it in the microwave for 5-10 seconds. Mm-hmm. It's not heavy on the pretzel at all. Yeah. I would not have known there was any pretzel in it if it didn't say it on the package. Yeah. But it's wonderful on the caramel and chocolate chips. Mm-hmm. And the hot cocoa there, it is Joffrey's, and it's absolutely amazing.
It is.
What is our next location, cookie and beverage?
So Tortuga Tavern, which we went through and had some red velvet cake cookie, which I asked for sure for 2 because of Jeremy. And then there was cider at this one, which was really nice because it was an apple cider. Mm-hmm. It was not warmed.
No, it was not.
But it was very good. I really enjoyed it. I just wish because it was a very cold Florida night.
Yeah.
I think the low got down to like 58 or so, which is cold for me because I've born and raised here. Other people loved it.
Yeah.
But I wish it was warm, the cider.
Yeah. Yeah. Here was my take. It could have been better if it was warm and stirred up. Because
no, that's the second one.
Oh, was it?
When we were at
okay.
There was something.
It was the same cider.
It was.
It was the same for me at both. So whatever it was, it separated, and like all of the cidery flavor was like at the bottom. I don't know. It just separated. So honestly, I would nearby all of these. They're at quick service locations. You could grab a quick spoon or knife or a straw or something. I would just give a quick little stir, and then it'll be fine. But agree, warm. This would be perfect. Yeah. What is the one location we did not stop by?
And now I'm really sad because I kept looking every time we would stop for the cookies because I feel like there's also a little more because the Sunshine Seasons greetings.
No, there are a couple more than we have listed because there's a peppermint frosted cookie. Yeah. I know for sure. Here was the buttercream frosted gingerbread cookie that we missed in the eggnog.
Yes.
So we never get a chance to that.
That was at Gaston's Tavern. Yeah. So, and we never went over there, which I am really sad. But this is where they had the eggnog. I know we have some in our fridge. Right. I need to see if it's still good. Because I do want some. I'm like, I miss that. And then I'm sad that it was a frosted gingerbread cookie.
That would have been super good. Yeah. Then we've got at Lunching Pad, Cosmic Rays. You have these buttercream frosted sugar cookies that they've got some different shapes. There's a tree. There's circles. There's also a candy cane one.
We got two of each of those.
Yeah, two of each of those. If you've ever had Publix frosted cookies that they sell, that's pretty much exactly what it tastes like. These are a little bit drier, but same flavors. They are good. And again, they're prepackaged. Get as many as you want. Yep. Bring them home. This is what you get home. Everybody says, "What'd you bring me?" You know what?
Cookies?
I specifically got you these specialty cookies.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to tell them they were included with the party ticket. Tell them you bought them.
Yeah.
They're it's Disney. They're like $4.50 each.
There
you brought
you
them
go.
home a dozen.
Yep.
What a wonderful friend you are. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. We're going to talk to some comparisons to close this out.
Okay.
We are going to directly compare. And you know what? Why don't I keep score here? And let's see in the end which one we recommend more.
Okay.
Right? Just
and
based
what are
on
we
these.
Comparing all three?
No, all we're talking about is Magic Kingdom, Halloween Party versus Christmas Party. Right off the bat, which one do you prefer?
Halloween.
Okay,
Sorry.
so Rhonda starts with Halloween. I would agree. So we're going to start with Halloween on the left, Christmas on the right. We're going to start first with event atmosphere and theming. Now, again, these are going to be our personal opinions, but which one do you prefer as far as just the atmosphere, the theming, which in reality is going to say which holiday decor do you prefer, Christmas or the Halloween?
It's so hard. I'm going to say Christmas.
You're going to say Christmas.
Because
I'm going to say Christmas.
Yeah, I do love,
So we're going to do overall tally marks, I think, right?
Okay. I don't know.
Is that, no, because we have to
you're
do
the one
them each.
trying to keep it score.
I was trying. Hold on. Let me break it down a little bit more. Okay. Rhonda said Christmas. I said, no, we'll break it down each. That makes sense. Okay. Let's talk about the entertainment offerings. And we're going to start with the stage show. Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular against Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration stage show. Which of those do you prefer and think is better?
This year was amazing with the song of the texting. Like that one was.
There is this great now again, we have not been in 5 years. I don't know when this song was added.
It was awesome.
But it's about texting, and it was actually really, really good.
It was really good.
So which would you pick?
I'm gonna say villains though.
You're gonna go with so you're gonna go with Halloween and the villains.
Yep.
Ooh, this is a tough one because the villains are so good.
I know. And I just love it all.
You know, I'm actually gonna go.
This is so hard.
Oh, man, that is a tough one. I think I would tend to agree with you in the villains. There just is something about it. All right, let's move on to the parade portion then. Boo to You or Mickey's Once Upon a Christmastime parade.
Boo
Which
to You.
one? Boo to You?
Boo to You. All the way.
I think Boo to You, and I've always said this, is the best parade that I've personally seen.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love it.
First of all, the starting off with the Headless Horseman, that first boo to you, is it like, and it builds? There's nothing like it. And this parade is wonderful for Christmas.
Oh, 100%.
It is great. Was a little disappointed if you've been on social media, Tally, the Christmas elf, who is blowing up virally on social media. While we did see him walk past us, he did not stop and talk to anyone or check their name on the nice and naughty list within our area or earshot, which was a little disappointing. I was excited. I had my camera ready, my video. I was like, I'm going to get it. Millions and millions of views. Tally just walked on by. But so we both agree completely there with Boo to You.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about the fireworks then? Which are you going with? It would be what? Not So Spooky Spectacular versus what is the frickin' name of it? I'm disorganized this morning. Versus the Minnie's Wonderful Christmastime fireworks. Which are you going with? I'm going with Halloween. For me, it just tells a better story from beginning to end.
Yeah,
that I miss out on with this one.
Yeah,
personally.
I'll agree because I was like thinking, and I was like this, and I'm trying. That's what my brain was like. All right, what is the Jack comes out for the fireworks, and then Halloween, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Jack puppeteering alone, I think, kind of wins Halloween over that. I'm sorry, Christmas. Okay, what about meet and greets? Now, we're not big on the meet and greets, but as far as maybe the appearances, with obviously the Halloween party being very villain heavy.
Oh, of course.
Christmas party is very holiday dress up heavy. You're going to see some rare characters, but you're also going to get Mickey and Minnie in their holiday best. You know, you're going to get Santa Jack and Sally,
Santa Stitch.
Santa.
Oh, yeah.
Which do you lean for as the better for character greetings, Halloween or Christmas?
It's hard to say because we don't see them, but then we see more. I feel like we see more for Halloween. So I guess I'll say Halloween.
I'm going to agree. And in general, villains, characters in meet and greets are few and far between. So not only do you get those, with some of the main villains you can't meet all the time, you also get a lot of rare ones, like things like you'll get Pain and Panic, for example, right? Like this and maybe a Run Disney event. There are a few times you're going to get that opportunity.
Right.
So I do think that the rareness of the character's greeting at Halloween is just so much better. Okay, let's talk about food. First is the included. Which do you find better, the trick-or-treating for everyday candy that you can buy any time of year, or the exclusive prepackaged holiday cookies along with holiday beverages? Which do you prefer?
Christmas.
Okay, I'll take that as well. And then what about the specialty you got to pay for? Christmas or Halloween? Do you remember liking better? I feel like they're pretty even.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give my nod to Christmas.
I think me too.
Based on the flavors that I prefer, with the gingerbreads and the peppermints and the eggnogs.
Yep.
So we're both going to say Christmas for that one. You got one there, so that's good. All right. Attraction overlays. During Haunted Mansion, you got the kind of like Pirates. You got Space Mountain completely dark. Of course, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. You got Jingle Cruise. I'm going to side with Christmas strictly for Jingle Cruise, but I also think that their Space Mountain overlay is better than the Pitch Black, which I can actually cheer with joy and glee during the Christmas one, whereas it is nothing but yells of terror and fear when it is pitch black, because I value my head and I would like to keep it on, and I can't see what's coming, and it could just any moment gone.
Okay, I don't think that's gonna happen, but
not inspired or by actual events.
Yeah, I'll give Christmas that
for the overlays. Okay, cool. All right, crowd levels and overall, I guess, accessibility. Did you feel there was a difference in crowd levels between the two? Like, I don't even know if this is one that's fair to vote on.
They were sold out both.
Right, both were completely sold out.
Completely sold out. In fact, ours was sold out, and then added two of us because that was for Halloween.
That's true. The Halloween party was actually sold out plus two. So,
because that's how we got in.
Do you think, in comparison, over the past several years, and I would be shocked if they're actually doing this, Disney is selling less tickets to these as their capacity?
I think so.
I do too.
And I'm happy for it.
I am too. It feels a lot less busy than it did. 1 year ago, but definitely 2 to 3 years ago. We would have never given up going to the Halloween parties and all and stuff, but I was starting to question the worthiness of it based on crowd levels, because they were nuts to butts. And now it is not.
Yep. I'll agree.
It really is. Like, I don't remember seeing an attraction above 45 minutes. I'm like, Pirates was a walk-on when we did it.
Yep.
Jingle Cruise, I think it was posted at 35. We waited like 15. Haunted, we maybe waited 15. Big Thunder was pretty a walk-on. Like, all the food, we barely had to wait to get any specialty items. Even though we very meticulously planned our spot for the stage show and fireworks and all of that, like, nobody came and tried to get in front of you, and it felt so much less crowded.
It did.
So I think this one is technically a wash, but it is something I wanted to make sure we talked about.
Yeah.
Because anybody that was worried that these were getting overcrowded, I really do think they scaled it back. And who knows? Maybe they said, we can up the price $10 a ticket. We can up all the food $1 each. We can up all the merch $2 each, and we're still going to make out in the end, but have a better overall guest experience. Maybe that's what they did. And if they did, good job, Disney. I'll take it.
Yep.
Maybe we're spending more money, but we're having less crowdedness. So
yeah.
Weather. Because there's no guarantees regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most likely, your Christmas party weather is going to be cooler. Halloween party is going to be hit or miss. You could have it be 90. You could have it be 40.
Or
for
you
overall, which would you prefer weather-wise, Christmas or Halloween?
Or you could have tornadoes.
You could have.
Hurricanes.
You could have hurricanes. Yeah. Because we're getting close now.
I think I prefer Christmas
Mm-hmm.
because it usually feels like the holidays when it is cooler.
Yes.
Because
when you see Snope and it's actually maybe 45 degrees outside,
it makes it feel like real snow.
It makes it feel better than seeing a headless horseman and there's sweat dripping down your crack, right?
Yeah.
So I agree with the Christmas. Okay. We're going to talk audience engagement. Now, what this means more so is how festive do the guests, the other party goers get? Do you feel? Which do you prefer? The people
Halloween.
Dressing up in costume, for Halloween?
Yep.
Or all of the festive attire, you wore a onesie, a Christmas onesie.
I did.
I had my ugly Disney Christmas sweater from years ago. I bought red pants. We both had our Christmas Crocs.
Mm-hmm.
So we were very festive. You see a lot of pajamas. You see a lot of ugly sweaters. And then you see costumes. So you're going with Halloween and the costumes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to agree solely on how inventive people do get.
Correct.
Ourselves included.
Yeah.
You will find much more Halloween people that are handcrafting stuff themselves.
Right.
As opposed to Christmas. Christmas is much more off the shelf, I feel like store-bought.
And Christmas is all day, I feel like.
Yeah.
Whereas the Halloween
true.
party, nobody wears costumes usually unless...
Well, you're not allowed unless you're a child.
Right.
And there's still restrictions during the day.
Right.
But what you and I wore... Now, while we changed into it for the Christmas party, we could have easily worn that all day and not looked out of place, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you could wear it. I can wear a onesie if it's the high is a cold Florida 45.
Yeah.
The high is 45 on a sunny, beautiful day. I can wear that all day long. Whereas I can't wear a costume start in the morning.
Right.
During the holiday season of Halloween.
Agree completely. So we're down to the final one. That is overall holiday spirit, which again, I think that separates from your favorite decor. And that's, you know what I mean? Like it's different from that. Like overall, which one of these parties makes you feel the most like it is that time of year?
I think I'm going to go with Halloween.
Okay.
Because I feel like, at the party, and I'm talking the party,
we're talking party exclusive. Yeah.
Because, they dim the lights some, and I know they do it at the Christmas, but I just feel like, again, Christmas is almost kind of all day.
Okay.
And I just feel like it's my house. Like it's just Christmas everywhere. So I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Halloween. I'm
going to go with Christmas.
Okay.
It's I would say it's very close, but to me, the Christmas spirit throughout it's something about, and maybe it's just the tones and the colors to me, it's just reds and greens and whites everywhere. Everything is lit. It's garland and pine needles and Snope. And there's something about it to me that, and maybe a big part is the weather, the fact that I had to wear 2 layers of pants and wear a sweater and be comfortable the whole night. And I don't know. For me overall, it makes me feel so much more like Christmas time than Halloween does like Halloween time. So in the end, you actually were spot on with saying that Halloween is your favorite, But I'm actually surprised these were as close. You outvoted Halloween over Christmas only 7-5, which is surprising. I actually was 6-6. So I broke even. Now, for both of us, the entertainment offerings, if that's what you're into, we heavily skew towards Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
If you are more into probably the food, the beverage, and the spirit, probably lean a little more towards Christmas, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So depending on where you are, now sometimes it doesn't matter. You either come during that time period or you come during the other. But if you have the opportunity to pick, that's kind of our thoughts, our recommendations overall. That's as far as we can hold your hand, folks.
One question to you
Yes.
I have.
Okay.
Now that we did it and it's been some years,
Yeah.
if you had to pick next year,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to do the Halloween party as we always do,
Yeah, 100%.
will we do Jollywood? Will we do Christmas party?
Okay.
And
So now
do
are
we need
you
to
saying
pick?
between those two? Okay, so that's the question. Is
All
we
three,
will
like-
do what we can to do all three, based on the fact that we have this podcast about Disney, right? But if we can only pick one between Jollywood and Christmas, knowing that we will do the Halloween party, I would pick Jollywood.
Okay. But
Only
what if
for
you had to pick?
the variance of park and feel and offerings,
Yeah.
because I do think that as far as the feel of all ages and family friendly, Halloween and Christmas are about exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween could obviously skew a little towards scary for very young children, but I think both are very family friendly as a whole. Jollywood, while it is completely family friendly, it still skews a little bit towards feeling like a fancy adult night out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that we would have already gotten that whole feel of Magic Kingdom and Halloween, I personally would select Jollywood just to have something that feel very different.
Right.
How about you? You have to pick, knowing we go to Halloween regardless.
Yeah, I would
You
agree.
got to pick a Christmas time style one.
I would agree.
You agree with Jollywood? Okay.
But out of all three of them, if you had to absolutely pick
Halloween.
one. Okay.
Yeah, still hands down Halloween. You
All right.
as
Yep.
well?
Yep.
And I think you going back and going, well, being at the Christmas party kind of feels like being in our house. And I think that's one of the reasons I would also go with Halloween, is because we don't get as much Halloween cheer outside of the Disney parks as we do Christmas.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel as needed, whereas Halloween is like, I need that Halloween, and here it is. Christmas, like, if we didn't do either of the parties, I don't think I would think it wouldn't keep me up at night.
Yeah.
Whereas Halloween would. It'd be like, I can't believe, like, we were both, I could tell, feeling a small part of our being ripped apart when we truly thought we weren't going to do the Halloween party this year after the 2 hurricane cancellations.
Yep.
Like, if there had been a rare December hurricane, which I would not put it past you and I visiting and that happening, and somehow we missed this Christmas party, I would have been severely disappointed. But I wouldn't have lost sleep over it the same way I would have if we missed the Halloween party. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I do hope that sums it up. And yes, I know I'm joking saying we can't only hold your hand this far. As always, if you have additional questions, because they can be very particular to your family, you know, we still try and generalize and get a little broad, but we're happy to narrow down if you have questions. You can hit us up on social media, at MainSTMagic on pretty much all the social channels, at MSM Podcast on TikTok. But I'll be honest, if you send me a message on there, I don't even know how to check it. So hit us up on one of the others. magic@mainstmagic.com is our email. Please send us an email, post on social. We're happy to answer additional questions, anything that we missed or anything that's much more specific to your family. And if you are ready for that next trip, of course, no matter where you want to go, our trusted partner, MEI-Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today. And then, of course, if you want to get all of this goodness, like reviews of Halloween parties and Christmas parties and everything that we've got coming up as we go into 2025, which is absolutely insane. We will do our year-end wrap-up episode and what we're looking forward to 2025. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And then, of course, both Rhonda and myself and Santa Claus himself would be very thankful if you would please leave us a rating and review.
Because it really helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.